Hi folks, this is Allison, and I'm here to talk to you about my theory. My theory is that the expressive therapies can provoke effective, lasting, and substantive changes for better mental health through opening new neural pathways while instilling multisensory mental imprints, thus aiding in the brain's ability to process and release debilitating obstacles. What I would like to use my theory with is with trauma. It could be mental trauma, emotional trauma, physical trauma, any kind of trauma. There's so many different types of trauma, and we've all experienced different traumas. And, you know, you're going along your merry way, and boom, right? Trauma hits. And then what happens, you know, as we all know, as the cortisol, and so you get your little amygdala, and you get the cortisol, and your adrenaline, and it's all firing, and it's, you know, the the hippocampus and the hypothalamus is all kind of reiterating the same kind of stuff, and it's replaying this map of this trauma over and over again. So boom, 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 you know. So it starts, I don't know, making grooves in the brain, if you will, of these traumatic experiences, and then, you know, we're reliving it over and over, and it relates to panic attacks and all kinds of other problems, nightmares, just inability to move forward with your life, and it really becomes a disorder, as in the PTSD. And there's a lot of talk about how it is, you know, really detrimental to the brain. However, my theory is more about finding ways to create new neurons, new neural pathways, so that new perspectives can be found. So you don't forget about the trauma that's happened here, right? But you're creating new neural pathways, and because memory is stored differently within the brain with something like with trauma, and it's usually nonverbal, it can, using the expressive arts, then taps into these new pathways, and then using neuroplasticity, you can start to build new ways of being. So you can start to expand and live your life, right? So the idea is that through these new neural pathways that we are healing this trauma. So we're not reliving it, we're remembering it. So EMDR, tapping, EFT, all these things help to sort of reboot the brain. But I also think that expressive arts therapy can also aid in this as well, but it can kind of be the umbrella actually from which everything else happens. So you're creating this new perspective, and that ultimately, you know, you're not worried about trauma at all. You learn from it. It's not that we won't be traumatized again. However, you can learn a way to break the chains of trauma and